this definition of addiction that I want to offer you, I heard from a neuroscientist at Stanford named Andrew Huberman. He has a podcast called the Huberman Lab, which I very much recommend. I heard him define addiction as a progressive narrowing of the things that bring us pleasure. And if you think about that, you begin to realize how much sense that makes, because if we're drinking to excess and we have an addiction to alcohol, all we want, all we think about, and all that really brings us any sense of joy anymore is alcohol. And so with that understanding, I want to offer maybe some ways to move through and move out of that addiction, at least a start, as I said. First, think about broadening the things that bring you joy and pleasure. And one step to begin moving towards that is think about some of your happiest moments before you started using or before you started engaging in that behavior, and try and see if you can stoke that flame a little bit. The next thing is to think about pleasure versus fulfillment, because substances, addiction, has a very pleasure-based outcome. So we're feeling a certain way that we don't want to feel, and we reach for that thing to give us instant pleasure, and it works, right? Whereas if we think about engaging in something that's going to bring fulfillment, that's more of a process-based, that's going to be more sustainable and not have that crash that comes afterwards. Because if we're down here and we drink or we use drugs or we engage in our addictive behavior, immediately we're going to go up here and then we're going to crash, right? So if we think about a process, that's something we're going to engage in that's more sustainable, it's going to bring us up here and keep us in a baseline that's healthy, that's not extreme. And so think about hobbies that are process-based as opposed to pleasure-based, like reading, exercise, and the most important thing, relationships, engaging in your relationships. Another way to think about addiction is it's living in isolation. It's something that we do often by ourselves. It's something that comes up with a lot of shame, and shame is like very much the isolating emotion. So if you're struggling with addiction, know you're not alone, and try and think of ways that you can broaden your sense of fulfillment and do things that aren't going to maybe bring you pleasure right away, but will bring you fulfillment in the long term. Good luck out there.